Hello, welcome to episode 30 of the Intern's Oddities from around the world. Today, I would like to go a little bit deeper into the fallen ones and some of the knowledge that they shared with us. So, as we discussed last time in the book of Enoch, the Watchers are angels dispatched to Earth to watch over the humans. They kind of got a little fresh with the human women, to put it politely. And they created Nephilim, which are basically giants, human angel hybrids. Then, we discussed that in detail last time. So, what I wanted to discuss this time was known as the Chiefs of Ten. And as we said last time, these briefly mentioned, these were basically like the commanders. And each of them controlled 10 watchers underneath them. So in the book of Enoch, they are as follows. The names of their chiefs: Simziah, this one was their leader; Artaquoth, second to him; Ramashel, third to him; Kokabal, fourth to him; Armumahel, fifth to him; Ramal, sixth to him; Daniel, seventh to him; Zekel, eighth to him; Barakel, ninth to him; Azael, 10th to him; Hermani, 11th to him; Materel, 12th to him; Ananel, 13th to him; Setuel, 14th to him; Samshiel, 15th to him; Sadiel, 16th to him; Tumiel, 17th to him; Turiel, 18th to him; Yomiel, 19th to him; and Yehaadel, 20th to him. These are their chiefs of tens. Now the book of Enoch also lists leaders of the 200 fallen angels who married and commenced unnatural unions with human women and who taught forbidden knowledge. Some are also listed in the book of Raziel, the Zohar, and Jubilees. Now this is what I really wanted to get into. So, Arakiel is a fallen angel, the second mentioned of the 20 watcher leaders of the 200 fallen angels, who taught the signs of the earth to humans during the days of Jared. However, in the Sibylline oracles, Arakiel is referred to not as a fallen angel or watcher, but one of the 5 angels who lead the souls of humans to judgment, the other 4 being Ramael, Uriel, Samael, and Azazel. Armados was the 11th watcher on a list of 20 leaders of a group of 200 fallen angels called Grigori, or watchers, in the book of Enoch. The name means cursed one or accursed one. The name Armaros is likely a Greek corruption of what may originally be an Aramaic name, Armani. And this one, in Enoch, taught humanity the resolving of enchantments. Azazel, in the Hebrew Bible, the name Azazel represents a desolate place where a scapegoat bearing the sins of the Jews was sent during a Yom Kippur, as Spider mentioned on the episode the other day. During the late Second Temple period, Azazel came to be viewed as a fallen angel responsible for introducing humans to forbidden knowledge, such as he taught humans to make knives, swords, shields, and how to devise ornaments and cosmetics. Gadriel taught the art of cosmetics, the use of weapons, and killing blows. The Book of Enoch is an ancient Jewish apocalyptic religious text ascribed by tradition to the patriarch Enoch, who was the father of Methuselah and the great-grandfather of Noah. Bezaleel. Sorry if I butchered that. Was also mentioned in the Book of Enoch and left out of most translations because of damaged manuscripts and problematic transmission of the text. So we don't really know what that one taught us, as far as I'm aware. It doesn't appear that we know what this one did, because they are left off of most lists because of translations. Chazakiel, also sometimes referred to as Shahakiel or Ezekiel, not to be confused with Ezekiel from the other book, but Ezekiel or Cambriel, taught humans the signs of the clouds or meteorology. And this one was the 8th watcher of the 20 leaders. The name means cloud of God, and it was said that Chazakiel taught men the knowledge of clouds, otherwise known as meteorology. Kokabel is considered the angel of the stars. His name is generally translated as Star of God, and he is a high-ranking holy angel. In Enoch, he is a fallen watcher, resident of the nether realms, and commands 365,000 surrogate spirits to do his bidding. I believe we mentioned that in the episode the other day as well. Among other duties, he instructs his fellows in astrology. Then we got Pinemu, a curer of stupidity in man, an angel associated with Abraxas. Ooh, I've heard of Abraxas. I didn't realize that was a real demon. They had that demon in Supernatural. I'm assuming it was a demon. That's how it was portrayed in Supernatural, but I don't know. Because Azazel was also portrayed as a demon in Supernatural, and it's got me wondering how many demons are just fallen angels versus how many demons are humans who had their souls twisted. Something interesting to think about. Pinemu taught mankind the art of writing with ink and paper, and taught the children of men the bitter and the sweet and the secrets of wisdom. Sariel, also known as Suriel, taught humankind about the courses of the moon, at one time regarded as forbidden knowledge. And this particular angel is mainly from Judaic tradition. And then we got the big leader, Semyaza. And this one is one of the leaders of the fall from heaven. And this is the main leader of the Watchers, Semyaza. Then we've got Shamsiel, once a guardian of Eden, as stated in the Zohar, served as one of the 2 chief aides to the archangel Uriel, the other aide being Hasdiel, when Uriel bore his standard into battle, and is the head of 365 legions of angels, and also crowns prayers, accompanying them to the 5th heaven. In Jubilees, he is referred to as one of the Watchers. He is a fallen angel who teaches the signs of the sun. And this was the 16th of the 20 leaders. The name means God is my son. Yaquan, or Jequan, is Hebrew, and was the ringleader who first tempted the other Watchers into having relations with humans. His accomplices were Asbiel, Gadriel, that explains a lot, Penemu, and Kazdea, or Kazadia, who were all identified as individual Satans. Interesting. So I guess that's what Rob was trying to tell me the other day when on the show, when he was trying to tell me how Satan is actually more of a title than an individual. Common misconception, I suppose. The account of the Book of Enoch has been associated with the passage in Genesis 6:1-4, which speaks of sons of God instead of watchers. But my understanding is that they are essentially the same thing. Sons of God is a phrase used in the Old Testament and in Christian Apocrypha. The phrase is also used in Kabbalah, where B'nai Elohim are part of different Jewish angelic hierarchies. When man began to multiply on earth, and daughters were born to them, the sons of God saw how beautiful the daughters of man were, and so they took for their wives as many of them as they chose. Then the Lord said, My spirit shall not remain in man forever, since he is but flesh. His days shall comprise 120 years. At that time the Nephilim appeared on earth, as well as later, after the sons of God had intercourse with the daughters of men, who bore them sons. They were the heroes of old and the men of renown. So, that's all I got for you today. I didn't want to, I couldn't go too far into it. I felt like we did a pretty good job covering it the other day. I just wanted to go a little bit further into what each of the chiefs of the fallen angels actually taught humanity and why they got in so much trouble. And as James mentioned during the episode the other day in the comments, I actually thought he mentioned something that really stuck out to me that I wanted to bring back up. He said that knowledge is the original sin. And I thought that really struck a chord with me because it seems like, if you think about the story of, all these angels that came down and they taught man all this stuff, and then God came down and decided to flood the earth for the Nephilim and, all this other stuff. What if part of that wasn't only the Nephilim? Because remember, Noah was the only human to survive. So he didn't want, unless I'm wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm still new to all this. I was under the impression that Noah and his family were the only humans to survive. And I was under the impression that God was upset with a lot of the humans as well for willingly accepting this information as payment, and they wanted this information to, do things with the Watchers, and willingly created the Nephilim. So it's a bit complicated, but I do agree with James, and I can definitely see how knowledge could be considered the original sin. And if you want to go back and look at the Garden of Eden, the Garden of Eve with Adam and Eve and all that, the Garden of Eden, if you want to go back and look at that, the snake represents knowledge. So what if the snake was a representation of the fallen angels and the Watchers and all that? Same story, different book. And that's one of the things that I found interesting since I've, started looking into religions, is like Rob and Spider were saying on the episode the other day, a lot of these religions are very similar. And it's interesting to note how all these people across the world could have so many similar ideas and tell pretty much the exact same stories, just with different names. So sometimes it can feel like there is something, a little more something going on. But anyways, that's all I got for you today. Thank you for coming to hang out with me, and I will see you next time. As always, stay uncanny.